Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
What's up?
Another dollar. You guys see my screen okay?
Yep, it's
Yep.
coming through. Looks
Perfect.
good.
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
I'm pinging Jillian. All right, I got the QA window open, Justin.
Yep. Looks like we've got about 16, 17 people and growing. So
Perfect.
got the recording started as well.
We need to get the user group work uh, in such a format where we could send a message to each client admin on their app. It's like, hey, you're running late for the webinar.
I like it. You guys can't hear piano in the background, or not piano, violin in the background, can you?
No?
Okay. Pretty sure the office suite next to me keeps playing What Would You Do, Drunken Sailor over and over and over again.
Interesting.
It might be the
Interesting.
only song that he knows on the fiddle. Um, what would you do, drunken sailor? All right, it's now noon. We're getting started.
That's
Just kidding. Um,
gonna be stuck in my head all
oh,
day.
I hate fiddle day. I don't mind when he has the guitar players there, but that's all they play. These young kids, though, it's cool that they come in and try to learn music. I know it's noon, my time, 11 Pacific time, 1 Central, and 2 on the East Coast. We're going to give it a couple more minutes. When I say a couple more, literally mean 2 minutes for other folks to join, because I know that not everybody's going to join right at the top of the hour. So we'll start this thing off in about 2 minutes. So if anybody has any good
Awesome.
jokes, drop them in the chat.
I got kind of a joke, Justin, with this new quarterly program. Does that mean you're going to fix your hair at least 4 times a year?
As long as I get it cut, have to drive to El Paso to get a haircut.
Making me look bad.
No, my wife, she goes, "You're not wearing a hat today." I was like, "All right, yes, ma'am." Thought I saw, let me see. Oh, cool. Q&A is working, guys. There seems to be a lot of feedback on the call.
Oh, let me. I think Roberta's in the audience. Let me see if.
Roberta does say she's
Oh,
hearing it normally.
yeah. So whoever posted that, you might want to leave and come back or check your audio settings.
Okay, good. Another one said they're not hearing feedback either. All right, guys, it is 2 minutes past the hour, so we're going to kick this thing off. First and foremost, I want to thank you for joining us today. If it weren't for our clients, we wouldn't be here doing what we're doing, and I quite enjoy my job. So thank you for being loyal clients. We are recording this webinar. We said that. So if you're kind of a straggler coming in, we are recording this webinar and we'll make sure that, yes, Eric, I'll approve that. We're recording this webinar and we'll make sure we get it sent out. So just be on the lookout for your inbox. More than likely by the end of the week, we should have that sent out. And if you have any questions, drop them in the Q&A wherever that's existing on your machine, and we will ensure that we answer them within the chat or live verbally for you. Um, Something exciting that we decided to embark on this year is doing webinars quarterly. Um, we just thought it would be a good opportunity to connect with our clients. So the next one's going to be taking place on June 24th. It's just a good opportunity for your teams to be inspired to use Visit Widget in a new way, learn how to use the platform, and learn where we are focused on our efforts for future development. We've got a great lineup today, and I'd encourage you to stay until the end. We are not going to take the full hour, so I'd encourage you to stay till the end. We have some amazing roadmap features that I think you're really going to want to see. And trust me when I say that, some cool stuff coming down the pipeline. We've got a stack crew today, an amazing brain trust of our best and brightest. Starting off, I've got Eric Dahlke, co-founder, lead product developer. He does everything, including his daily cardio running. He's a runner. He goes back and forth to the mailbox looking for those client checks. Shout out to our amazing clients who keep us afloat. We've got Jillian Ferris on the call. She's our brilliant product designer driving our future vision. She notices details the rest of us didn't even know existed. And then she makes sure they're absolutely perfect. Chef's kiss. Finally, last but not least, we've got Miss Katie Brulin, Director of Account Management. Basically a fancy title for a professional cat herder. And those of you that don't know me, my name's Justin. I'll be guiding the first portion of this. So let's get into this and introduce the full team. Here's our pictures, even though you see our faces, and this is definitely not me photoshopped into the photo. I'm actually there. So today, what we're going to be talking about is curated experiences. We think it's a very good time to start thinking about these opportunities. So that's why we're doing this webinar, is to give you some ideas about curated experiences and why you should do those curated experiences. Katie's going to get into the how to succeed with curated experiences. So if you have team members that want to learn how to do stuff within the command console, ping them right now and tell them to jump on the webinar. And then Jillian's going to follow up with where Visit Widget is taking these curated experiences and where we're taking our product roadmap down the road. Eric's going to be manning the Q&A, and he'll do a nice recap there at the end. So if you have questions, again, please, please, please drop them in the Q&A. So my portion is going to be covering why curated experiences. DMOs don't curate itineraries, tours, passports just to be helpful. I mean, we are cool like that, but we do it as marketers to drive visitor behavior and economic impact. That's what we're really aiming to achieve. Whoops. So first, it's about guiding spending. And if you're not directing visitors where to go, someone else is, which puts you at the mercy of products like TikTok or Google or Joe Schmo down the road. Curated experiences help you as the marketer control the narrative, keep the dollars in your local market, and keep that spending intentional. Secondly, curated experiences reduce decision fatigue. So travelers are often overwhelmed with options. Helping to inspire them means more stops, more engagement, more dollars spent with your local stakeholders. Third, it transforms a destination from a list of places into cohesive experiences. Visitors travel for stories, themes, and memories, and you can be a part of that conversation through these curated experiences. Fourth, and this one's a big one, creates measurable ROI. With digital passports and tours, you can track visits, engagements, real-world impact. This is where I encourage the marketers on the call to start thinking of Visit Widget as a data mining tool for your destination. We create a beautiful product on the front end for our visitors. On the back end, our marketers can use what we're gaining from that product in that visitation to help make data-informed decisions. And fifth, there's a bit of psychology at play. I like to think of it like my son on his Nintendo Switch or that stupid Roblox game or whatever it is that he plays all the time. And he's like, Dad, look at the reward I got. With gamified experiences, this can be very similar for visitors where they want to complete these experiences, these passports. They want to earn the rewards and they want to share what they've done. And finally, it helps destinations stand out. Anyone can list things to do, but like curated experiences, that's what makes a place genuinely memorable. You're the local expert and trusted advisor. Be the one that helps your visitors experience your destination and those points of interest that make you unique. And at the end of the day, it's simple. You're not just promoting a destination, you're orchestrating how people experience it. So let me get my phone pulled up on my screen here, and I'm going to show you what some destinations are doing. And if you want, you can download these apps by scanning the QR code. So pull out your phone and scan those QR codes if you want to get some ideas, see what other destinations are doing.
And while he's pulling that up, these are the one link to QR codes that allow us to associate an iOS and Android download page to one singular QR code. So if you guys anyone hasn't received that from us for any reason, give us a shout. We do have those created for each client through a paid service.
Absolutely good shout out there. So what I want to show you here is Santa Fe. So I always talk about tours, itineraries, experiences, ideas, whatever you want to call them, these curated experiences as inspirational travel. How are we as marketers helping people experience our destination in the way that we would if our own family members came into our destination? How are we going to take them to some of those key points of interest, the best places to eat, those type of things? So I'll hop into Santa Fe in my home state of New Mexico. If you haven't been, I highly recommend. Santa Fe is wonderful. You're going to see a lot of alcohol, culinary themed tours here. So within Santa Fe, you've got the Santa Fe Margarita Trail, 50 different stops, some craft spirits, food truck tour, so many different places here in Santa Fe that you can go to and experience different culinary inspired tours, as they call them. You can also see on Santa Fe that they have a video that you can click on play. And so if I click on play, the video will actually play right here. Now, what this does is this helps make this tour adds more depth, more volume, more value to this tour. So if you have some great assets, tours or your listings are a great way to help highlight some of those videos and stuff and those assets that you've worked so hard to create. So if I click in here on the Santa Fe Margarita Trail, there's 50 different places that I can go snag a margarita in Santa Fe. Lord help me if I go to all of those in one weekend. That's probably not going to happen, but they're putting together places that they recommend as the local marketers in the destination that help me determine how I'm going to go visit their local stakeholders and interact with their destination. In New Mexico, you will see this if you've never been. You have to eat Mexican food, new Mexican food, we call it. And all of these great places that you can go get breakfast burritos in Santa Fe. So as you're scrolling through, you find a place that you think looks good. You can pop in there and kind of learn a little bit more about it. And again, this is just helping the visitors within your destination go find those great local assets and help promote and market those folks within your destination. I will admit I'm a bit of a coffee snob. I never drink the big chain that everybody knows their name because you can throw a rock and hit one. But I do drink a lot of local coffee, and I love when destinations do simple stuff like this where they say, hey, here's all the great places to go get coffee within our destination, or here's all the great places to go have pancakes in our destination. There are things that make your destination unique. There are things that you can highlight and feature within these tours. I think Santa Fe does a really good job. Sorry, there's a little bit of a lag there. This last one here is the Chocolate Trail. I like to point this out because when my wife and I were visiting Santa Fe, I created an itinerary that was margaritas and tacos. How many margaritas and tacos could I eat in a weekend? And she added a bunch of fun stuff like spas and tons of stuff. And she has a notorious sweet tooth, and she found the Chocolate Trail. And she and I spent an entire afternoon going to these 5 different chocolate places, doing tastings, and spent more money than I thought was possible to spend on a few bags of chocolate. But I like to point this one out because I've been to Santa Fe many, many times in my life, and going out on the chocolate trail was something that I had never done before. So again, even for visitors who have been to a destination many, many, many times, this gives you the ability to, inspire people just like myself to do things they haven't ever done before. So I'll pop on over to my next slide here, which is going to be Jacksonville. Again, if you want to download the app, go ahead and scan the QR code there. They do some really cool stuff that I like to point out and always like to showcase here. So when I hop into Jacksonville, you're going to see stuff like the top 22 attractions. If you're visiting Jacksonville, here's kind of the stuff I would recommend. You're also going to see these historic audio tours. And I think that they do a really good job with these audio tours. We helped them set them up in the beginning. They actually took a microphone, hooked it up to their computer, and sat down and recorded these awesome audio tours. The Black Heritage Trail, they did partner with their local African American Heritage Society to curate to get those audio assets. So there is the ability to either create them yourself, or if a great entity within your community has those, might be a great opportunity to partner with them, collaborate on the ability to create a tour. But within Jacksonville, you're going to see here the historic buildings loop tour. So I can click on the cover audio.
Welcome to Jacksonville's downtown historical building tour.
So you're going to get a nice audio file associated with the historic building tour. When I click into the actual tour itself, you've got nice cover photo of the historic building tour. Each one of these stops has an audio file associated with it. So as I'm walking up, let's say to the old Florida National Bank building, you're going to be able to listen to this audio file simultaneously. You're going to get a notification on your phone that says, hey, the old Florida National Bank building has this great augmented reality experience. And what you can do is actually go stand exactly where that photo up top was taken, hold up your phone, and as you're hearing the historic audio, you can also see the augmented reality overlay of the cutout of this building here and what it looked like a long time ago. And that juxtaposition between 100 years ago and the modern aesthetic is something that's pretty unique and cool for your visitors to experience. And it doesn't take a ton of work to put these together. So again, just looking through Jacksonville, they do murals, historic neighborhoods. I think they have a monuments one. There's like a dolphin viewing one. Best places to have drinks, rooftop bars, best bites. So just look for inspiration in your community. Look for the things you love, what makes you excited to promote, and leverage the assets that you do have to create these itineraries. So let me go to my next slide here. This one is a really cool one. So we took the idea of these audio tours and we're like, how can we elevate the experience? And so what we decided to do was to do geo-fenced audio tours. Now, these geo-fenced audio tours, essentially what happens is when you decide to start the tour, and I'll hop into that in just a second, as you're walking up to the actual one of the stops along this historic building tour in Austin, Texas, it's going to say, hey, it looks like you're at the Brahman block. Stop one is blah, blah, blah. And it's going to go through the entire audio experience. Now, something else that was really cool that we worked on for Walk of the Town was that we translated the content using AI voiceovers in multiple languages. So what we decided to do for them was English, of course, Spanish, French, and German. They do have some plans to add some additional voiceover or different additional voiceovers down the road. But as you walk up, if your phone is set, your phone settings are set to one of those language options, it will play back the audio content in the language that you speak on your device. English, of course, is the default there. So if I click into it, I can click Start Tour. If I click Start Tour, I can start the tour remotely.
The Brahman block portion of the Walk of the Town.
You're going to get this nice audio tour experience. Now, what I want to show you here is as I scroll down within the description section, a lot of clients don't realize this, but you can add photos within your description as well. So you've got image, enriched descriptions here that just help elevate that actual listing itself. And it's all plugged in right there. So really fun work that we decided, again, to just elevate the audio tour experience even to another level, to where those audio files are automatically played, and also the ability to support multiple languages throughout the process. So hopping into the next concept here, tours was the initial iteration of what we decided to do when we did curated experiences. And then we're like, what if we gamified it? And so that gamified experience came through the concept of like digital passports. How do we create digital passports? So internally, we call them goals, but you might call them passports, challenges, experiences, check-ins. I don't care what you call it. It's up to you. So I'll open up our friends over in Cleveland, Ohio. Now, Cleveland, Ohio, they've got their general tourism app that you're seeing on my phone here. If I click on the passport section, this is something that you guys might inquire about, but we do have what's called a nested passport menu. So, if I click in any other section, it opens up directly to that section. But within the passports, we decided with Cleveland what we wanted to achieve was the ability for them to have multiple passport programs that were broken out so that they weren't all running together. And so what you're going to see coming down the road is actually the pizza passport for Cleveland. And so you'll see a section down here called Pizza Passport. But on my actual phone itself, if I click on Brewery Passport, it now opens the Brewery Passport for me. Now, Cleveland's doing some really clever stuff. So I'd encourage you, if you're thinking about doing passports, or if you have existing passports, I would encourage you to kind of look at the way that they've done their passport program, because they've done a lot of cool stuff. Like, one, they have a progressive passport. So the concept is, how do we get people to go get from their first check-in to go to all of our stakeholders that are participating on the passport? So you've got progressive, meaning, hey, just go check in at one place to earn this level and you earn a prize. As you continue to go, they've got, 6th, the 15th, the 30th, the 42nd. And you'll see, like, on the 42nd, when I say progressive, I've completed up to the 30th checkpoint level. And I've got 37 check-ins. I need 42 to complete this passport, and I'll actually earn that next level on the passport. They're giving away some cool prizes too. So again, I would encourage you to download the app. Those prizes, they get progressively better and better as you earn more check-ins. They're also doing some cool stuff, just like, long haul legend. Like, this is a passport where it's going to be a little bit further away, like, a longer drive or furthest by car. Party animal, go to all of our breweries with an animal in the name. It's just clever marketing ideas that they've done. Friends and family. If a brewery has is a friend or a family name brewery, like Two Brothers, Three Sisters, so on and so forth. And you'll see a lot of different passports that they're running here. All really cool, clever ideas to disperse people out across their community and to get people to check in at these different locations. I'm going to go to the next one here. Our friends up in Harrisburg, they've got the Brew Barons passport. So I'm in the Brew Barons passport here. This one is a cool concept. We built this concept out a couple years ago. It's called points-based. I'm not sorry, a couple years ago, last summer rather. It's called points-based rewards, points-based goals. And so the way these work is you have different people participating. And when people go check in at the stakeholders across your community, they can earn points as they check in. So if I go to this Lindgren, for example, and I go check in at that brewery, I will earn 50 points. One of the things that I really like that Jason does too, because I actually had the privilege of being out in Harrisburg in September, and got to meet Jason in person and then actually go participate in the Brewery Passport, is that he encourages the breweries, whenever somebody comes and checks in for the passport, to send them to another brewery once they check out. And I think it's a really good way to collaborate as on a passport, and encourage people to go out and visit another one of your favorite breweries as a bartender recommending it. So I thought that was something that was really cool. So again, getting into this is a points-based passport. He is running it on a time as well. So he's running it for 2026. meaning it started January 1st. It'll end on December 31st, and he will start it again in 2027. Now, uh, all of the points, he's going to start sending out notifications towards the end of the year that you need to cash in your points. And you guys are going, what the heck is Justin talking about cashing in the points? So if you go over the prize market section over here, this is where you're going to actually be able to see what prizes are being offered. And just like a bank account, I've got my little point bank account up here. It tells me how many points I've earned. And as I go in, I can scroll through, and if I determine I want one of these cool prizes that he's giving away for points, I can click into it. I can hit redeem. And when I hit redeem now, there's a submission form that pops up. This submission form is editable. So if you wanted to collect phone number, for example, you could do that. Or let's say you're giving away a t-shirt and you need to collect t-shirt size. You can do that right here from within the form. So all of these fields are customizable. Again, thinking about our platform as a data mining tool, this is one more touch point where you can collect data and analytics on your visitors to then use back to market them, to get them back to our communities. Go to our next slide here. So I talked
Justin,
about.
we got about 2 minutes remaining on your section. Just a
Perfect.
heads up.
Perfect. I think this would be the last bit of it. So appreciate the call out there. So Discover Saratoga, we also offer built out on our platform what's called voting. And so you can use voting for all sorts of stuff. Like maybe it's best of your city, or I live in a small town, so best window display for homecoming, or best Christmas lights, or whatever it is. You can use the platform for voting. So we've had Saratoga, New York used it for a wing off, where all of the wing houses within their community were basically trying to see who was the best wing house. And then they also did a wildest wing contest simultaneously. They had thousands of votes flow in over the weekend, and we saw some really cool stuff with that. Unfortunately, I can't show you voting live because it just depends on when and if a client's using it, but we've seen it used at beer festivals to vote for people's favorite beer. You can use it for tons of stuff. But again, our platform within the passports and curated experiences, we have anytime style passports. We've got points-based rewards. We've got streak-based rewards. We've got the time-based. We've got progressive passports. And then last but not least, we've got voting. So there's so much you can do here to curate these experiences. So when people are coming to your destination, they're going to come out and have a ton of fun. I think that just about covers my section. I'm really excited for Katie to talk about how we actually help people succeed. So I'm going to stop sharing and pass the ball off to Miss Katie.
Thank you. Alrighty. So as Justin showcased, why curated experiences are important, I'm going to demonstrate how you can curate those experiences. So I've got San Antonio up here. San Antonio, I love your destination. If you're on the call, this is a staging environment. So any edits I'm about to make, they are not live. This is just a staging environment. To access the command console, you'll want to be logged into your widget with your admin credentials. You can click your profile icon from there, you can select command console. That's going to open you up to the command console dashboard. To find tours and goals, that's going to be in the listings navigation here. And then you can see them down here. Now, tours is going to be the backend entity name. Goals is the gamification entity name. These are configurable. So on the front end, you can call these curated experiences, tours, curated itineraries, whatever you would like. Same with goals. These can be passports, challenges, whatever gamification label you would like to use. Now, this view right here is going to show all of your published tours. You can toggle and see your unpublished. To create a new tour, you would click this create button, select tour from the drop-down. What that looks like here, you've got all of your fields that you can configure. I actually got started on this already. I'm going to start with March Madness since that's the season we're in. If you wanted to move this one to the top so that it is the first tour displayed, you can sort the order over here. You got two different ways. You can drag and drop the order using that hamburger icon. You can also use this quick selector. It'll move it up to the top. Make sure you click save. That will actually update. You can see it in real time here. When building out a tour, you're going to want a name for your tour. You've also got your description here. This does support HTML. So if you want to make, anything, any of the text bold or line breaks, any of that, you can do that in the description fields. Next would be the action bar. You've got phone number, website. You do have up to 4 action items available. If you needed to include another website URL, you can do that here. Categories, these are going to be where you select the categories that are relevant to the tour that you're building. You can go through the list here and select or deselect. You can also search for a category here and select it that way. When you delete your search field, you can see the list of all of them available. Next is going to be your media. That's going to be your cover photo for the tour. I've got one uploaded already, but it does show you right here the ideal dimensions and the file types. For those that want to add that audio or video like Justin had just showcased, you can toggle here. If you upload audio and video, the video will always play over the audio. It shows you here the file type and the file size. It shows you the same on audio. Next are going to be the stops that you want to assign to your tour. I've already added some stops here that are locations that are playing the March Madness games. If you wanted to remove a stop, it's as simple as hitting this remove button here. You can also order the stops using these icons over here. It's just going to be a drag and drop method. If you needed to add a new stop to the tour, you're going to use this button here to the right. You can filter by your menu item and subcategory filters. You can also search. Any listings that are already assigned to the tour, you'll see them grayed out with this notification here. So I'm going to add this Dave & Buster's. I'm going to hit save, and it's going to add that stop. You'll want to make sure you hit update. That's what's actually going to save that update. If you needed to convert this to a draft to continue working on it, you can do so here. It shows you the status of your tour here. It'll say published. If it was a draft, it would say draft. Once you've got all of your fields configured, you can view this tour in the widget view. So now I can see I've got my cover photo, my label, my stops, my details section, all of the locations. I do not have routing enabled. That's why you're just seeing the list of map pins here on the map. If I go back into here under stops, I can enable routing. You're going to see that update happen up here. I'm going to hit update. I can view this real time. Now I'm seeing the routing automatically routed out. I do recommend if you are going to enable routing, you'd probably want to double check just to make sure it's in a nice order and not, zigzagging all over the map. Alrighty. So that's everything on tours. Now to get to goals. Goals is right next to tours. Goals are basically going to be the exact same as a tour, same process to build out. You're just adding that gamification component. So each objective, each stop on the goal is going to have a check-in method. You have 3 different check-in methods. You have proximity, which is geo-based. You have unique PIN code, and you have QR code. You can also double up and use proximity and a unique code. That way, users cannot cheat. They actually have to physically be at the business and typing in the code. To create a new goal, you would use that create button again. You've got goals here. I've got one already pre-built out, so I'm just going to show you some items on the settings tab. Down here under goal rules, this is where you're going to configure the different goal types that Justin explained. So with anytime goals, think your evergreen goals, your brewery trails, your coffee trails that are happening anytime, all year long. Time-based, that's going to have a start date and an end date. Think like restaurant week or craft beverage week. Streak-based is going to be great for, let's say you have a festival and you want to encourage users to participate in both days of the festival. They would have to check in once a day for 2 consecutive days. And then voting, like Saratoga Springs did, they did the wing off. You could also do I've seen Kalamazoo do voting goals for Craft Beverage Week. They did best events that was happening, best collaborations. So voting is great. We have inline voting within the platform now. You can use it in the holiday time, vote on the best Christmas lights, all of that. Alrighty, so let's look at our goal. Again, you can sort order just like you can with tours. It's the exact same process. You can drag and drop, hit save. Let's look at the Margarita Madness. For those of you that like margaritas more than basketball, like I do, this is great. You've got your label. It's the exact same as tours. I did add some HTML to this one so you can see some line breaks in there, some bold. Your action bar, you can have up to 4 fields on there, 1 phone number, 3 website. These are optional fields. You do not have to populate anything in these fields if you don't have a phone number or a website. Next, it's going to be the same thing. Any categories that are relevant to this, you can use this feature where you select or deselect. You can also use the search feature. Media is the exact same. You've got your file dimensions, file size, and the dimensions. Same with audio, video. Objectives are the exact same. If you need to add a new objective, it's the exact same process. Same for removing one. Your settings tab. This is going to be the big difference than tours. You'll need to populate the proximity radius. The minimum required amount is 50 meters on here. Require login to complete objectives. I do recommend using this. This requires users to create an account to be able to participate in the goal. That way you can see progress, you can see their check-ins. If you need to help them troubleshoot anything, if they're using a guest account, it's extremely difficult to do that. So I always recommend requiring login to complete objectives. You've got a submission form on here. These fields are all configurable. So from the message up here on the top to the different fields, let's say you are giving away t-shirts and you need that t-shirt size. You can do a text input or you can do drop down. Just note this down here, it's separated by comma. If this is an optional field, maybe how did you hear about us? You can deselect required. It's completely up to you. Just make sure you hit save on that. Once you save a goal, it is going to save those goal rules. So if you choose the goal type and save it, it's going to not let you edit that after it is saved. That is why this is grayed out here. If you ever need to change something, your account manager has access to configure however you want to change the settings in the back end. Just reach out directly to your account manager or support at visitwidget.com. You've also got completion badges down here. You've got your default badge while they're working on participation in the goal, and then it lights up in color once you complete the goal. That is up to you if you want to add a grayed out one and a colored one, or you can do both colored. It's completely up to you. To upload a new one, you would just use this trash can icon, upload your new file. It tells you the file types available right here. And lastly, your goal completion notification message. This is all configurable. You can configure this to say whatever you would like. Now, the check-in component. You'll come back over here to your objectives, and you'll want to configure the check-in method for each objective on the goal. It does not have to be the same across the goal. Maybe this location wants to use QR code. This location wants to use unique PIN code, and this one wants to do proximity. That is totally fine. To configure that, you're going to click the actual individual listing. You're going to use the navigation, find check-ins, and you're going to toggle on what they would prefer. So you've got proximity. Let's say they're going to do 50 meters, and then they're going to double up so that their users actually have to be in the business to type in their code to check in. And that is how you configure that. If you wanted to use QR code, you would toggle that on. You do have to have a unique code enabled to be able to use QR code. You would use the third-party QR code generator. You would use the text element of that, and you would paste in that code. We do have plans to be able to generate your own QR code right here within the command console. That is coming soon. But for now, you would just use a third-party website to create those QR codes. So I'm going to hit update here on my listing. Oh, did you say something, Justin?
Yeah, I was gonna say that actually just got deployed.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Well, it is now, you can now generate your own QR codes within the command console. So I'm going to exit out of my listing. I'm going to come back to my goal. You would just come through here. You would do that on each objective. Within the goal, you'd hit that check-in, configure the settings that you wanted to use. Make sure you're hitting update to save those changes. Again, it's the same as tours. If you needed to make a lot of edits and you did not want this published while you're making those edits, you can always convert it to a draft. You can hit update to save your changes. You can view what your goal looks like in the widget view. So you can see your cover photo, you've got your label. These are going to be your action bar items, your details. You can see the difference with the HTML in here. I've got the line break and the bold. You've got each location down here. You can also see the pins on the map. To view all of the goals you have published, it's the same process. You can see published, you can see unpublished goals here. And that wraps up how to create curated experiences. So I'll hand the ball over to you, Jillian.
All right. Okay, let me pull up my screen. So Justin and Katie showed you what gamification or what curated experiences specifically looks like in action. So the tours, the passports, some really great examples from clients, and I'm going to show you where we're taking it next. When we first launched curated experiences, they were very simple. Tours were a list of stops, passports were code-based check-ins on anytime goals. It worked, but we were just getting started. We've continued to build on it based on your feedback and your requests, and now we have the robust set of features that you just saw. So all the different check-in methods and rule types, push messaging tied to goal completion, audio tours, etc. And we're not done. And leaning into this curation is what actually brought us to AI. Some context for why we jumped on the AI train real quick. 40% of travelers say they've used AI to plan their trips, and that number is just going to go up. And the reason is simple. It cuts down on the time it takes to pull together a plan that feels personalized to them. They want curated experiences without the work. So we looked at that reality and thought, we're already curating experiences with Visit Widget. Let's just add AI on top of that to get even more curation packed in for our users. So that's why we built Via. Via lets travelers use the power of AI inside your ecosystem with your expertise. So your users get the benefits of AI, but you keep control of the experience. And it's really only possible because of the curation work you've already been doing. So we've brought the power of AI to your end users with VIA, and now we're bringing it to you. A smarter command console. The idea here is a VIA-powered assistant inside the command console. So the same intelligence, but designed to help you build these curated experiences in addition to helping visitors explore them. What if all you had to do to build out a tour or passport was ask a question? And I'm going to show you how this would work. Let me switch over to my prototyping tool. All right. So what we see here is a view like what Katie was showing just a second ago of the tours list in the command console. And maybe I come here and I want to make a tour, but I'm not sure where to start. I can click this button to open up the VIA assistant. It's here to help you get the most out of Visit Widget. And I see that there are some quick actions here. I want to build a tour, so I'm going to click that. And VIA is going to tell me some textual instructions, so step by step. Here's what you need to do. Here's a video tutorial if you need to walk through that process. But it also has a quick action here. Help me make one. That sounds great. I'm going to do that. And what VIA has done here is jumps me over to an empty tour. It's a new tour that it's going to help me make and fill out. It says, I've opened a new tour for you. What kind of tour do you want to create? We've got some ideas for tours, but I already have my own idea. I want to make a craft brewery tour. So I type that in, hit submit, and it is going to generate a list of tours based on your prompt, as well as a title and description. So we've got a list of tour stops, places from your database, in a list here. We've got a title, we've got a description, and we have the ability to just add them all to the tour with a click of a button. And a couple of other quick actions: reorder by optimal route, add more stops. But right now, I think this looks pretty good. I'm just going to add them all. And that was a little bit quick there, but now these fields are filled with the name and description, and it says what it does. I filled in the name, description, and stops. You'll still want to pick a category and add a cover photo, review, go through these tabs and review anything else you need to tweak or add. It did suggest a category to select based on the kinds of stops we have. It auto-filled the cover image from the first stop, but you can override that if you want. And there are my stops. These are, you can manipulate these however you need based on how Katie just showed us. And when you're ready, hit update and your tour will be published, all with just one simple question. So you still get to, make the creative decisions behind these tours, but it makes the brainstorming and the implementation just so much faster. And then the benefits of AI in the command console aren't going to stop at building tours and passports. We're also looking at how it can help you understand your data, where you're doing well and what you could do to improve. And here's what I mean. When travelers are using your curated experiences, they create data points. Every check-in, every completion, even skipped stops can tell us something. And all of that information you can use to make decisions. A new version of the analytics dashboard, where all that data currently lives, is in development already, and I wanted to give you a preview of that today. So besides some overall, UI UX updates, we are adding even more data that you can learn from. Things like which stops are most popular travel dates, average planning lead time, arrival trends, and time spent in market, and even more things than that. And then on top of all that, we are layering AI to provide insights that you might not catch on your own, pointing out anomalies and trends that you should pay attention to that you can take action on. So for example, if travelers are browsing your app or widget mostly on weekends, it'll flag that so you can schedule your social media and email blasts for Friday and Saturday to reach more of an audience. If there's an emerging market showing up in your data, it'll point that out as well so you can target that with ad spend. So to bring it all together, we're leaning into curation, and that brought us to VIA. VIA gives visitors the convenience of AI powered by your expertise, and now we're bringing that same intelligence to the tools you use every day. And now I'm going to hand it back over to Eric to answer your questions.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody. Justin, Katie, Jillian, you guys did awesome. And I really just kind of want to tie a bow on top of this. So what we hope you take away from today's meeting, there's 3 topics. It's why curated experiences, it's how to succeed with curated experiences and how clients are currently succeeding. And then also where we are taking curated experiences. So just to recap shortly, as Justin illustrated through various client apps, visitors these days are accustomed to doing much less work and getting much more personalization than ever before. And so it's important for us to understand that and meet them where they're at. And so that's why we keep expanding on this functionality to ensure that we're offering precisely what's needed to keep you ahead of the mark. I love something you said, Justin, converting a list of places to a cohesive theme for visitors. So I agree. People in the same kind of thing I just said, they just want less clicks to get exactly what they're looking for. So let's take that list and let's refine it and provide the themes that list represents, distilled down to their particular interests. The other thing I wanted to point out is, these features that Justin's showing, creating tours and leveraging audio and video content, is available to every single client on the platform. So Jacksonville, for example, they started out when we launched years ago back with 4 or 5 tours. To date, they have 81 live tours, and there are over 100 in the system, with a handful unpublished that they use seasonally. So it's interesting because I commonly get asked by clients, hey, what features are on our plan that we're not using right now? And it's almost always tours. They're like, no, we've got 3 tours, and they've had them for 3 years. So it's kind of like, let's really delve into that and create those unique experiences by taking advantage of the functionality that's available. So I hope that helps you guys, everybody, understand why we should curate experiences. Katie did a great job with the run through the command console. It is an extremely powerful way to add a layer of functionality on top of the data that we're already integrating and syncing from CRM. So, you don't have to go and build each place, each listing. That's automatically being pulled in. It's as simple as assigning and creating unique experiences right in command console. And why not use these opportunities to create even hyper-focused experiences like the March Madness kind of demonstration that we showed, or a Margarita Madness. Anything that you have going on.
World Cup's
World
coming
Cup.
up. Everybody's going to be watching
go.
World Cup at these bars and restaurants. Huge opportunity there.
That's what people are looking for. So use it. The last piece, where are we taking curate experiences? And I would say that the short answer is to the next level. We're making them easier to create and curate than ever before with the AI-powered functionality on the command console side for clients. We're obviously taking the AI functionality is going to continue to spiderweb into different areas of the platform, and the anomaly detection and the automated insights that we're going to be showing in the redesigned analytics dashboard are really going to take all of the guesswork and all of the calculation out and just allow you to jump in and see what's working and what needs to be adjusted or optimized. So I'm super excited about that stuff. Jillian, great job showcasing all of this. A lot of this work is already underway, but as Jillian mentioned, all of this is the result of client feedback and kind of a pulse on the market. But any additional ideas that clients have, we would love to hear them so we can continue to build out the next 6 months of our roadmap into 2027. So thank you, everybody. We've got about 10 minutes remaining. And there are a couple of questions that have come up.
Yeah.
So let me pop into those real quick.
If you want to catch that second one, I'm answering the first. Well, you can answer both. Never mind.
What happens to voting results when you delete a partner during the open voting window? It's a great question. This actually applies the same way to check-in. So we've got a lot of clients that have, there's these kind of brewery passports, if you will. And unfortunately, not every brewery stays open indefinitely. So when one closes, people that have already checked in there, their check-ins will persist. They will remain associated with their profile and count towards the threshold that's required for completion, even if that business closes and is removed from CRM or removed from command console and to the apps. So the same thing happens with votes. If somebody places a vote, what happens to voting results when you delete a partner? So yeah, that vote's going to persist. It occurred, it happened. It's not like it vanishes afterward. Obviously, you as the client could then take the voting export and remove a partner listing that maybe shouldn't be included in the results anymore since they're no longer in business. So it is up to you when you pull those exports as to how you want to report on that. But we really never want to delete any data. We allow you to take the data and use it as you see fit. So good question. There were a handful of other questions that I think all got answered in the chat. And so that is everything, guys. What we'll do from here is bundle this all up in the recording and some of the notes. We'll pass that along to everybody. And we'd love to hear from you guys. So if anything else comes up, please reach out. But thank you. Thanks to my team. And we'll see everyone again on June 24th. Time is TBD. Have a good one.
You. Cheers.
See ya.